G'day fellas and welcome back to another game taking part in a series that's currently in the EGC TV Winter Series number 2. Going up against the Viper, we've got Artie, who spawns over on the east of the map, playing as the French, and his opponent, obviously, we mentioned him earlier, the one, the only, the Viper. Going to be playing the Chinese. Now this map is Boulder Bay, so this is a series. Now if you haven't watched the first game, that would have been posted directly before this one, so I'd recommend you go over, check that one out if you haven't already, before I spoil this one, because this result, so the first game was won by Artie, so this is the second game in the series. So Viper picking the map, so saying, you know what, I'm going to play as the Chinese, I'm going to play on this map specifically as the Chinese, and I'm going to see where it takes me. And interestingly, Viper doesn't play water, or at least at this stage he isn't looking like he's playing water. We'll have to see what he's got in store for us today, because this is, you know, many people would consider this, in my professional opinion, many people would consider this to be a very low ELO move. This is not a normal play style on this map. Typically on this map, you are almost always going to want to go water. And the reason why is because fishing boats pay themselves off so damn quickly. So if you can get yourself a dock set up and out on these fishing boat or out on these deep sea fish, they're probably going to pay themselves off. I don't know what the exact math is, but probably like 126 seconds, something like that. So basically, if you can have a fishing boat alive for 2 minutes, it's going to pay itself off. And that's essentially where we're at when it comes to the way that players play water maps. Is they just basically rush for a dock, and that's exactly what Artie is going to be doing. So getting this dock up at about 2 minutes here, going to be getting out the first fishing boat of the day. You can see he's got plenty of villagers already gathering in. He's actually got 7 villagers on food this nice and early. Going to be heading out to gold. So a little bit of delay in our openings. Typically, you would see players looking to drop docks down within the first minute, looking to finish them by about 1:30. But only Viper is Viper is the only one who's yet to add down that dock, and now we've got Viper not only doing a double IO opening, but also adding a barracks. This is very, very interesting. Oh my god, I got shivers down my spine right now. Not only is Viper playing the Chinese, aka my Chinese, but he's doing something a little bit crazy, and I gotta say, I love it. Playing into the French like this is very, very smart from Viper. So let's talk about why this is so smart. So typically the French, they are going to want on this map to go Chamber of Commerce. Now, if they go Chamber of Commerce, well, there's no point. You know why there's no point? Because they don't need to do any trades, because Viper isn't playing water. Now, Don's going to know that. Don has scouted out the water of Viper. He knows what he's up to. He would have spotted out the barracks, and he's going to realize that in this early stage of the game, there's really not much that he can do to respond to that. He can't make archers. So, obviously, he knows that he's not going to need the Chamber of Commerce, so that leaves him the School of Cavalry. But guess what? Viper is already making spears, which are going to very effectively counter that. So it is something to consider, you know, that just how strong this opening might be. So yeah, Don is definitely going to be behind well, we can say that much. But now getting a nice little wall in here, Don is. So probably at the very least, Don going to be looking to secure this position, keep this dock alive with, I would assume, a Hulk. He's probably just going to want to get one Hulk out. Villager did get caught out here by Don, so Viper trying to sneak a little dock in, not being successful there. So going to have to fall back with that Villager. So a little bit of a delayed dock there coming down, and once again Viper looking to get that Villager out. You can see him, but now going to have that spear out. But Don obviously going to be well aware of what Viper is up to, and now Don looking to actually secure up this front with an outpost here. So I like this decision. This should keep him alive on this front at least until he can get the Hulk out. It does look like he's going to be going to the Chamber of Commerce. Actually, I take that back. It's the School of Cavalry. They do look very similar, those two icons. But yeah, looking forward to seeing what Don can do when it comes to defense here, because these spears are going to continue funneling in. We'll actually take a look from the perspective of Viper and take a look how many spears we've got coming in. We've got another spear, a villager going to be coming in here as well. So we've got 4 spears over, 5th spear coming in as well. Wouldn't be surprised if we actually have that villager come out and do a bit of healing here, because this is going to be out of range probably from this outpost, and indeed it is. So yeah, he's going to be able to get through this wall. I wouldn't be surprised if he could just stand out here. You know, sometimes this, it does look like it's quite shallow, but yeah, you can sort of be damned if you do not wall all the way out there. But it looks like Don's done a pretty decent job there. Now Villager is going to come out, going to be doing a little bit of repairing. I think Viper can actually move in here very close to the wall, and there you can see that they are going to be able to poke through. Oh, gosh, that was close. If he loses that Villager, probably not game over, but, you know, you want to avoid losing the Villager where possible, and Don trying his best to try and bait out these spears, and Spears now looking to go idle, and, he's doing a great job. Don doing a great job of just forcing the idle. Look at this, just being very, very cute here, delaying. And that's really what it's all about. He's just delaying Viper here. But now Scout going to be coming in here as well. Looks like Viper has just given up and he's just going to continue sieging this down. But you can see how much healing is coming out here. He's barely getting through this wall. So despite having one villager here with 5 spears, he's going to be able to get that down. But remember, we did see that villager come out. So we could potentially see an outpost go down right here as well. Viper going to be having a Hulk coming out, or rather Don going to have a Hulk coming out very soon. Now, I don't know if I agree with this outpost positioning. I would love to have it right up on the shoreline, and then from there you can continue to walk through. But now Don going to be able to pick up, or losing that villager rather. Viper going to be able to pick this one up. But yeah, with this Hulk is going to be easily able to defend this little rush here. I'm curious what Viper's got going on behind this. So it does look like he's opened with a triple fishing boat. Has managed to age up now, going to be putting down the Barbican of the Sun. So getting that one up. Keep in mind, behind this he's got 3 Imperial officials. So his economy is absolutely booming. 26 villagers. And now those spears going to be heading into the outpost. And I'm curious to see exactly what he can look to achieve here. But look how much damage comes down on that Hulk. Don's going to be very careful when it comes to spinning. And when it comes to winning against these outposts, you've got to be very careful with how much damage you take. You can see just how much damage actually goes down there. But now going to be able to cover it. I think he has got arrow slits on this outpost as well. You can see just how far it fires. So I wouldn't be surprised to see Viper pick up the same thing. That's going to increase the range there. But now going to be losing out that outpost. Second outpost going to be coming up here as well. So Viper definitely looking to play aggressive in the early game and really stick it to Don at this point. We'll check in with Don, see exactly what he's up to. He's up to 35 villagers at this point in time. Looking to heal up his Hulk a little bit and send that Hulk over towards his opponent's base and see what damage he could potentially do. See if he can spot out a potential expansion. Take a look at this. Don Artie slowly but steadily creeping back, a naughty little sheep, a secret sheep if you will. But yeah, definitely seems like Viper's probably going to be losing his fishing economy here. We did see a junk coming out a little. Was that a war junk or is it just a junk? I think it's just a junk. Yeah, so junk going to be coming out here. Got to be careful. These fishing boats are not too long for this world. Looks like the spinning to win is going to be happening here, but keep in mind, plenty of damage, and yeah, just going to be lighting up those fishing boats. So Don having a great time out here. But we'll check back in with Viper, see what he spots. So he spots the heavy gold. This gold here indicates to me that there's one or two things happening. More Hulks coming out, or an age 3 potentially. Hand cannon slits now coming through for Viper now, and that's going to extend the range out of his arrows. Also going to be extending out the range of his hand cannon, of course. But going to be losing out the majority of his fishing economy. It looks like a second Hulk was sailing in there. So that first one going to be walking back towards that dock, looking to get healed up. But definitely seems like Don is doing quite well at this point. Still not yet to look to really age up. Just adding a lot of units in age 2. So we can see that he's added in the archery range. So definitely not neglecting his land. Smart move from Don, because obviously he would appreciate that Viper's got plenty of military out at the moment. It'd be very easy for him to just switch into a spear and ram composition. I think would probably be a viable option for Viper. But behind this, it does look like Viper is looking to add a second town center. So you can see he is quite heavily on stone. But now a couple villagers going to get picked up on the front line. None of them going to be able to go down. Hand cannons going to be defending here. No upgrades for the +1 just yet on those Royal Knights. But yeah, looking to add in that second town center. You can see he's actually collected more than enough. Is he going for a second town center? Or is he, it could just be for the stone upgrades, but Hulk going to be going down there. So Viper doing a great job of picking up that Hulk. Now, it could just be that he's adding in more of these hand cannon slits, and he's just overgathered a lot of stone, because he does have villagers on wood, but it just doesn't seem like an awful lot at the moment. Fishing boats. Now, these fishing boats could be out on the shore fish, but obviously there's a lot going on right here. Junk going to be coming in here. Viper got to be careful. That outpost got such a beautiful range on it. You can see once it's got that upgrade, it's going to increase it up to 10 tiles. So really starting to do plenty of damage. And that's why if you get that outpost right on the shoreline and you get the hand cannon slits, there's basically no fishing boat that can even come underneath that. So yeah, you got to be very careful. And now looks like towards the front, Viper's push in with the towers or with the outpost. He's going to get stopped. Don doing a pretty decent job, and now Double Hulk's going to be looking to close down this fishing economy completely. There is one inside that dock, and a second fishing boat did just pop its head out ever so slightly. But now Viper looking to, I guess, make the best of a bad situation and duck out of here with just a handful of spears. And Viper definitely having a bit of a tough time on this front. I did like the game plan from him. The supervised... the supervised barracks opening was very nice. I would have loved to have seen maybe 8 or 9 spears come out. I think it would have been absolutely awesome. But now Viper going to continue harassing down, and you can see he's got these hand cannon slits. It looks like he's going to be fortifying the outpost as well, and I'd love to see him just get a couple more units in here, be able to absolutely smoke these fishing boats. But he's got plenty of units up here, and I love the way that he's playing this. He really is playing quite aggressive. The only thing I could think of for Viper is, you didn't have enough. I would have loved to have seen, 2 or 3 outposts up here potentially. With the hand cannon slits, just makes it absolutely crazy. Market going to get dropped down. Viper actually probably going to be looking to sell some stone here and click up to the next age, so not actually going to be adding in that second town center. Now, one thing to note is Viper is very easily able to wall his crossing. He's got a triple forest spawn, which has meant that his crossings are very, very limited. You can see this should all be easy to wall off as well. I don't think that's going to be completely tied up, but it's probably just going to be another segment like this one here. But once again, Viper going to be looking to pick off some fishing boats here of his opponent, and Don having a very tough time, because when you think about it from the perspective of Don, how many fishing boats does he actually have out here? I mean, he's got 2 fishing boats. That's literally it. So, third fishing boat now coming out. But, I mean, realistically, the value that Don is getting from the water right now is 3 fishing boats, and that is it. There's nothing other than that. And, as those fishing boats do come in, and can we just remark on how absurd this tower looks? Doesn't this tower look absolutely ridiculous? What is going on with this tower? I think because it's got the stone upgrade as well as the hand cannon slits, it just looks like really, really silly. But nonetheless, I mean, it's a cool tower. It's a cool tower. 2,000 health, I think, on that bad boy. Viper now looking to do, or rather Don looking to get a bit of action towards the base of Viper. Viper does obviously spot this one out. He's going to be heading in. But Don going to be doing his best, managing to pick off the first villager going to go down. Second villager will potentially go down. Viper hitting that age up, going up with the astronomical clock tower. No surprises there. Second villager going to be going down. It looks like he's going to be losing an Imperial official, so an expensive loss there for Viper, losing the equivalent of 250 food. So a lot going down, and Viper just stalling up his opponent. And I got to say, I really like this. The fact that he's forced 2 rams out from Don as well, this hurts so damn much. Don's had to invest 600 food, or rather 600 wood into these rams, as well as siege engineering, and which, as the French, you typically don't want to go siege engineering if you're going to be playing into the mid game. If you're going to be playing the early game, definitely, but if you're going into the mid game, it doesn't really seem like it's that useful. Obviously, situations it does now change, considering that the ram has been buffed in the late game, so it is potentially something that you could look to throw around in the late game, but, to be honest, it just isn't something that the French really want to be making. And look at this, Viper going for a 3rd outpost down here. Viper really just playing quite, I would almost say, trolly at this point, adding in this many outposts with this many, weapon slits. It's just ludicrous. But now going to be looking to lose this position, unfortunately. But he's invested a lot in here, and he's forced his opponent to invest a lot that really isn't going to come, isn't going to bring much to fruition here. But Don thinking about aging up now. You can see he's about to click up to the next age. Probably going to be dropping down with the guild hall right here. There it is, going down. So 15 villagers on that bad boy. He wants to get up yesterday. But now Don continuing to add fishing boats. He has won the water. He's adding in a 2nd and a 3rd dock here, so could potentially look at just going absolutely ham. Demo ships now coming in. A swing and a miss there for Viper. So all 4 of those fishing boats do survive, and obviously Don realizes, well, hold on a minute. He can't make those on land. There's got to be a dock out here somewhere. He must have taken out the dock. Oh, look at that. Oh my gosh, that Viper. He is so damn sneaky. And I wonder, did he come in on an angle with that demo to make it seem like that was where he came from? And you can actually see that Don knows something is up. You know, he smells like, oh, there's something sus around here. He does actually spot the dock coming out from Viper. Viper is just so sneaky with these little docks. I love it. He's got a demo ship coming out. He's going to be able to get some pretty decent value here. Let's see if he's able to make it work. Actually takes out the first ram. Second ram does manage to survive the blast. I don't think this demo ship's going to have enough time. We'll have to pay attention and see how long it actually takes and whether the dock is going to be able to get it out in time. But even if it does, you know, it's a pretty decent trade when you think about it. 240 resources for the 300 of the ram. Yeah, pretty decent trade right there for Viper. But I wouldn't be surprised if the next demo ship comes up. Gonna be able to get all of those fishing boats. 5 fishing boats go down, so a great demo once again from Viper. And unfortunately does lose that dock before his opponent is able, or before he is able to get out that final demo. But now we continue to watch Viper, and he's doing such a great job of just forcing his opponent to really delay the bonus that he's getting from the water. So one of the things to think about with water. So when can you add a second town center? You can add it in the second age. When can you add a dock? You can do it in the first age. So obviously there's a lot of food to be gathered in the middle of the map, but really the one thing that Viper has done is he's delayed his opponent's fishing economy, and by doing that he's able to subsequently invest into his own economy, and that's exactly what he's doing. You can see he's on 49 villagers at the moment. Compare that over to Don, who's on 66, so there's a 15 villager difference, but he's going to be able to get up onto that village count eventually. He is working double TC, and in the long run, the fishing boats are going to fall off, whereas the villagers will not. They will only continue to get better. So really one of those things to consider. But yet to add in that dynasty, so we don't see the Song dynasty coming out just yet for Viper. Only having the one Barbican of the Sun, so yet to go for the Imperial Academy. But managing now, so I like the way that he's playing. Honestly, I would love to see from Viper just these walls coming through, just some stone walls. He's got plenty of stone in the bank, so I think it'd probably be about 65 or 50, what is it? 30, no, how much stone is it? 15, 45, no, it must be 25 a pop. So I reckon like 75 across here, 75 across there. No, it is 15 a pop. I'm going crazy because it's 45 for the 3 segments. So yeah, I reckon it's got to be 45 across here and probably another 45 down here. So it's very, very cheap to wall that off. But we'll take a look from Don. We'll see exactly what he's up to, what his upgrades are looking like. So Don going for extended lines. Now keep in mind that is the first of the 2. There's 2 of the upgrades that you can get. You can see he's got plenty of production here as well. We'll take a look at the economic upgrades, what he's got. Looks like he's only got tier 1 wood cutting, no mining upgrades just yet, no wheelbarrow either. When it comes to his upgrades, he does have the +2 attack, +1 ranged attack as well. So he's well and truly on his way to getting fully upgraded. We'll take a look at Viper and see what he is on. So going up to veteran spears, and so I would expect that the composition from Viper is just going to be spears. We're going to see spears, palace guards, and nest of bees, and then eventually when Don does add in Springalds, Viper will add in his own as well. But until that day, Viper will just continue making nest of bees and spears, and I think that's a great composition from him. I would just avoid going too far out. Obviously, he's in a bit of a difficult spot here where he doesn't really have a lot of room left in his base. You can see that he's got the triple racks that he's added in. He's only managed to put 2 of them in his base. So yeah, now he's sort of looking for more land. Obviously, he can add back in, but he's got to be cognizant of the game moving forward, and now going to continue expanding out towards this area. And I do like this play from him, but as I mentioned, you've got to be so careful. Don's got quite a large army that is out and about on this map. If he spots out these nest of bees that are just so, you know, I don't even know what the word is, just poorly guarded right now is probably the best way to say it. And it looks like he actually might have Don making a move up towards the north here. Ram coming around as well. We'll have to see if whether he spots these ones out, but they've got the archers in tandem, and it looks like Don actually he's doing a little bit of a roundabout. What's going on here? Doing a little bit of ring around the rosy himself there. What is that pathing? What is going on there, Don Artie? Don Artie making a bit of a mistake, but now those spears going to be coming out the other side, and Nesta B is going to be following them out very, very soon. But now, finally making their minds up. Nesta Bees should manage to get out safely here. Only going to be losing about, I think it was 3 or 4 villages there, but the big key item is those Nesta Bees. He cannot lose those Nesta Bees, especially because you really need the mass to begin building for these. You want them to hit about the 2 3 mark at the very least, and then you want it to sort of progress into that critical mass where it can start one-shotting cavalry up around that 6-7 mark. That's when it's really going to start to, you know, that's when it's going to start to get real juicy. But yeah, now Viper really going to start to tee off towards that scout. I'm curious to see what he's got coming in behind this. We'll take a look and see. Looks like he's going to actually go for greased axles, so not adding in more nested bees at this point, but that spear mass is now beginning to build with the palace guards as well. Looks like he's heading in towards double digits of both of those very soon. But got to be careful of these hulks. When it comes to dealing with the hulks, the only real thing that you can use against them is bombards on land. The Springalds, unfortunately, they've been nerfed into the ground, and it was a bit of an oversight, I would say, because when it comes to actually dealing with the ships, there's not a lot that you can actually deal with them on the land. Really, it's only bombards because they're outrange. I mean, when you talk about nested bees, they've got 8 range, and you guys know what those things are like. Absolutely terrible. Compare that to the Hulk. It's got a range of 6. It's going to be very easy for those nested bees just to sort of get out of the way. Yeah, it's going to be very difficult for the Hulks to get out of the way. We'll take a look over at Viper's base, see how his macro is doing. He's got the 4 Imperial officials out. The first one looks like it's gathering up the gold. Second one looks like it's on the mill. Third one going to be gathering up gold, and fourth one on a mill. But I do note he still is yet to enter into that Song dynasty. And this is going to be hurting him quite a bit on 69 villages. Nice. We'll take a look over at Don and see how he's doing. Oh, huge mass coming out from Don. 88 villages for Don. So Don up about 19 villages at this point. And not hitting that Song Dynasty has really hurt the Viper, in my opinion. What I would have loved to have seen from Viper is just going into Song Dynasty, wall yourself off at the front, just play Imperial. And that's fine. You know, not really look to expand out. You've got all the gold that you need here. You've got 8,000 gold. So what? If your opponent gets the gold, that's okay. You're going to be able to push out. You push out with your bombards. You push out with your nested bees. You push out with your elite spearmen. And you're going to be in a great position. And, you know, you're going to have plenty of stone back there as well. So you can see he's got the 2 stone mines. He's going to be able to push out, adding castles as he goes. He's going to be in an absolutely fine position here. The only thing he's really got to worry about are those attacks from the ocean. But, you know, once again, he's going to be able to put up those outposts, just 2 outposts here. I think the first one right here, probably going to be able to give good line of sight. Second one here is going to be able to give good line of sight there as well. And he'll be able to deny any potential ocean attacks. So, yeah, I think it's a little bit of an oversight there from Viper. But obviously, hindsight, 2020. And it's very easy for me to say that from a caster's position. Viper, one of the best players in the world. So, who knows exactly what he's got up in that mind of his. But definitely looks like he might be thinking about Imperial. We'll take a look at his production. Not making a lot of units. Definitely has the ability to. Okay, now he's got some units coming out. But yeah, would be seeing all these veteran Royal Knights, and he'd probably be very, very worried. Don now actually making some Springalds of his own. So going to be the first siege coming out from Don, and Don going to be looking to push in here. This could be a bit worrisome because if he catches Viper outside of that choke point, Viper needs to move back towards this choke point. It's really, really key. I'd love to see, as I mentioned, Viper needs to wall this up, keep the nested bees behind it. They're going to be able to fire over, but I really do think you got to just give up on this front here. I know that he's got the outposts up. Springald in placements have come through, so you can see the first Springald in placement has come through. But yeah, now we've got the battering rams going to be coming through here for Don as well. So he's obviously going to be making use of that first battering ram that he did have remaining. And he has actually hit 200 population. So Don definitely a mile ahead right now of Viper. 64 population difference between these two. Now keep in mind, this is the second game between these guys. This is a best of 3 series with the EGC TV Summer Series. I think this is the Summer Series 2. Sorry, Winter Series 2. So I do apologize. I'm obviously in summer. They're not. Those guys on the other side of the earth are not. But now nested bees coming out. You can see just how many he's got. He's got 5 knobs out, and these guys do plenty of damage. So you really got to watch it. We might enter into the cinematic mode just very, very soon because I can feel it. These guys are going to be battling it out any second now. Viper going to be holding on for dear life. There's just so many knights here, and really you got to start asking the question, you know, what are you going to do against these knights? I think the best thing that you can do is really try and maximize the surface area that you've got because you can't let them surround. Or when I say maximize, I mean minimize the surface area that you've got, because if you start pushing out like this, like how Viper is, they're going to get that very easy surround on you. But now Viper going to be firing off into those archers. Looks like we've got a forward castle going to be coming down here for Don. Actually, I take that back. It looks like a landmark. Going to be going for that amazing red palace here that the French get. Going to be getting off a pretty decent shot here. 4 Springalds on the back line. Going to be firing off on these nested bees. They're trying their best to hold on. Reinforcements need to come in here for the Viper. But unfortunately, you can see that the surface area here from Don is incredibly good. Looks like the majority of those villagers did go down, so I might have missed that in the fight. I do apologize, but as you can see, Don looking like he's going to be able to clean this one up. Just so much surface area for him to work with. All of those knights are going to be getting great trades there. Obviously, at the end of the day, Don's army was significantly larger than Viper's, but it definitely seems like Viper has not come out ahead at this stage. We've got 88 villager population compared to Don, who's on 81. So definitely did manage to swing the villager count in his favor. But once his red palace comes up, there is going to be no way to get through this short of bombards, and that is for certain. Looks like it is going to come up, and just watch how quickly this thing absolutely shreds through Viper's forces here. Inside they go, and just it's just like, it is just ludicrous. Here we go, bam, bam, bam. Just like, look, it's so crazy. The only reason why there's not more units dying here is because it takes so long to reallocate. The AI takes forever, but you can just see it's literally one-shotting absolutely everything. This is one of the best landmarks in the game, in my opinion, for bang for your buck. Obviously, when it comes to, oh, I can't believe Viper right now. He's actually trying to contest this. This is crazy. You cannot contest this with units. It is impossible. You just get absolutely shredded. Even with rams, you're just going to get absolutely shredded. There's way too much DPS coming out of this thing, and you can see just how many units it's going to be meaning for Don. So Don down to 118 population right now. Viper sitting on 90, but you really got to wonder, did he make a huge mistake in throwing that away? Viper going to be conceding. Viper just going to be conceding full stop. I was going to say he was conceding the middle of the map, but it seems like he's conceded the entire game, probably not realizing how even it was there. Obviously losing the middle of the map and then just really just throwing in the towel. So fellas, if you're watching this on YouTube, make sure you go check out EGC TV. I'll leave a link in the description over to their Discord, and I'll catch you guys in the next one.